Great. Thank you, Marty. Good afternoon. I am calling in from Japan, so it's around 2 a.m. But it's a pleasure to be able to speak in front of you. Thank you for the invitation. This is the first time that we call in. I am joined by a longtime friend, a college buddy of mine, Dr. Taku Kambayashi. And we wish, we could be there in person, but we couldn't, but we are excited to have the opportunity to take you through on our story, and hopefully you will enjoy our presentation. To give you a little bit of background, I went to Johns Hopkins with Taku, um, you know, studying hard as with any pre-med to become a doctor, but I took a major turn, started my career in the financial industry. I've worked for various Wall Street firms like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. Finished my career at Barclays, which is a UK bank, when Dr. Kambayashi gave me a call, said, he has a major breakthrough discovery, scientific discovery. Took me on the ride of his research and decided to join him. I was honored, to be the CEO of Abrax Japan. And we've been working for the last 5 years trying to develop a drug that could potentially provide, better lifestyles and health for people in need. Taku, could you give your introduction?
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you so much for having us here. My name is Taku Kambayashi. I'm currently a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. I lead a lab in basic immunology. Today, I'm on clinical service, so I'm in a white coat. But usually I'm in the lab, directing a lab. And as Joe said, the technology that we're going to describe today originated from my lab, and it's being licensed out from Penn to Abrax Japan. Nice to meet you.
Okay, I'll try to share the presentation material. I know we have some time to
I'm going to ask
discuss
both
it.
Joe and Taku to speak up a little bit louder because we
Yes.
are on max volume here and you're coming in low.
Okay.
Just move up closer to your microphones.
Okay. Could you see the presentation material?
Looks great. Yep. Keep on going.
Okay, great. So Abrax Japan is a biotech startup that was co-founded by Dr. Kambayashi and myself. From the very beginning, our goal has been simple but ambitious, which is to develop a new drug that could provide better life conditions for as many people as possible. Um, we have three sections to the presentation. I'll first start off by giving an overview of the development efforts at Abrax Japan. I'll then turn it over to Dr. Kambayashi for him to present.
Joe, keep on going.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. So Dr. Kambayashi will then present his groundbreaking scientific discovery. I will then wrap it up with concluding remarks. So we'll go right into it. So we like to call it a breakthrough in skin-derived treatment. We discovered that MC903, a widely used medication for the treatment of psoriasis, which is a skin disorder, has an unexpected benefit of weight loss. Our research suggests that our research suggests that when applied topically, MC903 may reduce fat by secreting sebum. So we think that this is a groundbreaking finding that has the potential to transform treatment approaches for both lipid and skin disorders, offering a simple, effective, and safe solution for individuals pursuing better life, better health and wellness. So obesity is one of the most, pressing health challenges worldwide. I think on the prior panel discussions, there were discussions on GLP-1, which we will get into. But it affects billions of people globally. And in just the US, 200 million American adults considered to be overweight, which is a BMI of over 25, of which 110 million Americans are considered obese, which is a BMI index of over 30. So the GLP-1 agonist. With the advancement in medicine, GLP-1 receptor agonist therapies have become the gold standard for the treatment of obesity. These drugs have transformed the weight management program, helping over 30 million Americans lose considerable weight, on average about 15 to 25%, with current annual sales about $40 billion, with an expected 20% annual growth rate. So some experts are projecting by 2030, the total annual sales could blow up to about $150 billion. So this is a game changer. It is increasing awareness to the public, and all the research, everything, new developments are all derived from the GLP-1 agonists. However, even with their success, there are sustainability issues. So it is said that 85% of patients stop taking GLP-1 agonists within 1 year. There are various reasons as to why they stop taking the drug, and one of the reasons is intolerable side effects, such as nausea and vomiting. There's also the concerns about long-term needle use, muscle loss, and poor access due to high cost and manufacturing issues. So after the patient stop using the drug, what happens is that they regain their weights back to baseline or even more than the baseline within 1 year of stopping the therapy. So these highlight some of the challenges that this weight loss programs endure or needs to endure. And we believe that we have a possible solution. So our product is a topical product. This is, first ever. We don't see anything in the market right now that's topical for weight loss. We don't see anything in the clinical trials that is topical. It is user-friendly and very safe. It could be used daily as similar to like a moisturizer. The mode of action is also completely different from the currently available weight loss drugs. Our drugs could induce fat loss by oil secretion from skin. And our research has shown that there's a potential synergy with GLP-1 weight loss, which Dr. Kambayashi will give you his scientific data
So
later.
Joe, just one quick second here. So basically you have a cream that will convert fat into oil.
Sebum. Yes. So basically, it takes out the fat and spews out in the form of sebum secretion.
Right. And then you secrete it. Correct. Okay, got it.
Yes.
And without insurance, it's far less than GLP-1.
Even without insurance, I mean, we're still very early. We're preclinical, clinical stage, but it should be very affordable compared to the actively available drugs out there.
Okay, keep on going. We got about 15 minutes.
Okay, so what we're targeting is basically, so we understand the GLP-1 is the game changer. They're a mainstay. They will be there for a long time, and they will improve on their drugs as well. The large pharmaceutical companies are spending billions on how to improve and how to, offset these challenges. But, initially we're trying to target those patients that have stopped using GLP-1 for whatever reasons. And that's still 20 million Americans. And this is just in America.
And Joe, can I ask how many people who get off the GLP-1s put the weight back on? Do you know? Because I think there's a lot.
I think it's about all.
All of them. Yeah.
I will double check on this figure.
I've heard people who took GLP-1s and then got off it and said their appetites became ravenous.
That's right.
So,
That's right. So they try to go back into it. It's sort of like a never-ending
they
story.
have to take double the dosage, right?
Correct. They have to increase dosage.
I'm sorry, Joe. Is there a slide? You want to go back a slide?
No, we're ready.
Where are you with the FDA right now, Joe?
We've done a pre-IND meeting. but with another indication. So we're still preclinical stage, but we're trying to move forward into a clinical stage.
Okay, keep on going.
Okay, so this is, just a market model as to how big the market potential is for a drug. So if we capture 5% of those patients that have stopped using GLP-1, if they, pay what we prescribe to be about $300 per month, then expected monthly sales revenue is about 300 million. And in addition, we can also try to target those naive, non-GLP-1 used individuals, which amounts to 170 million. If we can capture just 0.5%, which is very nothing, that's an additional generation of $255 million in sales on a monthly basis. So this just highlights how big the market is and how much bigger this could potentially become.
This is US only.
This is only the US.
Yep, got it. Keep on going.
Okay, now I turn your attention to Dr. Kambayashi for his scientific discovery.
Great.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. So I'll go quite quickly into the science behind this. So as Joe mentioned, we have developed a topical product for weight loss. How it works. So we already have the product. We call it F275. It's in the form of a lotion. It contains an active ingredient, which is a vitamin D3 analog. What happens here is that when you put it on the skin gets activated by the vitamin D analog that's in the product, and then it induces the release of what we call skin-derived hormones. So there's a bunch of factors that are produced by the skin keratinocytes, so the epithelial cells of the skin. Those hormones then, as labeled H, you can see those little H's there. The hormone then will be released into circulation. So what is actually active here are the hormones. It's not the drug itself. The drug is the inducer of the hormone. So now these hormones will then travel through the bloodstream. They will reach remote areas of skin. And in that skin, there are hair follicles that are associated with these oil-producing factories called sebaceous glands. And those sebaceous glands will get excited, produce lots of oil, and will start to draw oil from circulation and throw it out on the skin. And by doing this, they will eventually lose weight. I'm going to show you some preclinical data that supports this argument. Next slide. So the experiment that I'm going to show you is where we took lean mice. So these are regular laboratory mice. We give it a high-fat diet for 10 weeks or more, and we make them obese. And then we divide them into 4 groups here. One where they're getting placebo treatment, and the other 3 groups where they're getting different doses, low, mid, and high, of our product F275. And over a 4-week period, actually a little bit longer for the weight loss, we analyzed by MRI to look at how much fat they have lost during this period. Next slide, please. So I'm just going to show you how they look. So it's quite obvious. So after 4 weeks of our treatment of the drug, you can see the left side is a placebo control. You can see that they're quite chubby. This is not what a normal mouse looks like. These are actually obese mice. On the right side is much more of a normal looking mouse. You can see that there's a very marked difference in size between the treated mice on the right and the placebo treated mice on the left. And numerically, these are data to compare the amount of weight loss achieved by this drug. You can see the blue, so that's the line that just goes across the 0, is the control. And then you have the red, which is a low dose, the purple, which is a mid dose, and then the orange, which is the high dose. You can see that there's a dose-dependent increase in weight loss. And in terms of fat change, we can see that there's dose dependence too, as seen on the right graph. You can see that there's increasing amount of fat change relative to placebo. Next slide, please.
Hold on a second. Wait, we have a question from the audience. Can
Yes.
somebody get one from behind so we can get another mic out here for the audience? Ozo, can you get the mic? Oh, we have a mic here. Just want to make sure the audience has it. So you want to just give it to right over here? You want to raise your hand so she can see you? Right. She's ready to do it. Turn on the mic, please. Great. Yep.
Can you give some insight as to what the change in diet is between when you start them on the product or the placebo? So have you gone from fat diet to lean diet? I mean, it seems that that's going to have a major effect in addition to whatever you're medicating them with.
Yes, I'm sorry for not going over the details. These mice are continued on a high-fat diet, so there is no change in diet after the 10-week feeding period, they continue on high-fat diet. So the placebo control actually continues increasing to some extent.
Another question? You want to just give her the mic?
Did I answer your question?
We have another question.
Okay.
I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know if you mentioned this already, but where was it applied? Was it the entire body? Because as you mentioned, it's very specific to where you are applying the product.
Yes,
So
can
if
you go?
If you're seeing weight loss overall, as we could see there, then does that mean that the mouse was applied the product all over the body?
No, that's not correct. So can you see the picture where there's a little bit of hair that's kind of shaved off? Can you see that? That's where the drug was applied. That's all. It was a very small area, only 20 microliters. So very, very little amount of drug was applied to this mouse. So the idea here is that it works remotely. It's not, if you can go back one slide, please. Or one more. Sorry. Yes, so the product is applied to one area of the skin, and the hormone travels throughout the body, so it affects the whole entire body skin surface area. So even though it's only applied to, let's say, in humans, we're thinking, let's say, put it on the forearm alone, it will affect your whole body. And that's why you don't have to put it all across your body, if that was a question. So in the mice, we gave it to this very small area that we shaved in their neck, right behind their neck.
Any other questions?
I don't know. Question I have is really about the funding that you're going to be asking for. We have a lot of deals in this space. GLP-1s obviously very active, and a number of startups have had some I shouldn't say easy, success getting money from the strategics that are making an incredible amount of money, such like Eli Lilly and others. So we can hold that question later, but there is a lot of money in this space, obviously.
Yes, we are seeking just $3 million in equity investments, and the proceeds will be used to initiate our first in-human proof of concept study, scheduled to take place in Australia.
Have you talked to any strategics yet, or
Have I talked to?
any strategics, any companies about they all have
We
their
have,
own
we
venture
have.
fund? Okay.
Basically venture funds. We did speak to what do you call it, like a rolled out Eli Lilly fund in China, but they basically said it's too early for them.
Okay.
Maybe in Middle East, since I read an article, you're saying that the Middle East will have the largest obese population in the next 10 years. That and cancer, right? Keep on going, guys. 5 minutes.
Okay. So maybe I'll go quickly. So one of the really interesting things about this is that the mechanism of action is completely different than what's available out there. And even for GLP-1 GIP receptor agonists, which really cause weight loss by reducing appetite. So we wanted to see if there's mechanism of action was different. Is there any synergy between the two products, and how does it compare? So this is just a comparison experiment. Next slide, please. And as you can see, so the weight loss that is achieved by Mounjaro, which is one of the lead products that Eli Lilly makes, you can see that that's the purple circles, the pink circles. That's the weight loss achieved. And then our drug, the F275, the mid dose, is quite similar in terms of weight loss compared to Mounjaro. And when you add both together, you can see a dramatic synergistic effect on weight loss. And in terms of fat loss, you can see the same thing that's on the right. You can see that about
Does your medicine impact muscle weight?
it's not as much as that Mounjaro does, but it does affect it a little bit because when weight loss happens, kind of many things happen. You get total loss as well. But in terms of percentage, the percentage is much greater on the fat loss side than it is with muscle. But I can share that data at any time if
Great.
people
About
are.
2.5 minutes. Yep, thanks.
Yeah, so I'm going to end my science there and let Joe finish.
Okay, I mean, if there's more questions, I was just gonna go into, team introductions, and that's really it. If there's more questions, we'd rather take those.
Microphone, please.
What are they asking? How much you're raising and
What's the raise and what's the disposition of fees?
Yes, it's $3 million for all equity to initiate the first in human POC study.
What's your pre-money?
Oh, pre-money right now is about $6.5 million.
Okay. And what are you spending it on? These
On the clinical
product
trials.
development? How much money do you think you're going to need to complete the whole?
Whole thing?
Yep.
If we're gonna take it all the way to phase 3, potentially 200, maybe 400 million. So what we're looking to do is after this POC, we're gonna take it to Eli Lilly, the Novos of the world, and try to find a partner. We know this is it's a big program
Sure.
that should potentially give an early exit opportunity for investors.
There's also potential for licensing deals, so, right?
That's right.
Anything else? Well, listen, guys, thanks so much for presenting. Really amazing stuff.
Thank you. Thank you for your
very
time.
much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And we hope to see you guys in the States soon.
I'm in the United States. I'm in Philadelphia. I can come wherever.
You should come to New York and we'll have some coffee.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah. Maybe
Thank
we
you.
should sit down and do a podcast together or something like that. So
Let's do it.
fantastic. Great. So,